Imprinting a message on yourself, always pushing yourself to the limit, sport can degenerate and the push to obtain the perfect form can become pathological. I was insecure and felt ugly. You become dependent on attracting the attention of others.
Come nell'anoressia c'è l'ossessione per la magrezza e quindi...
While anorexia is the obsession for slimness, and one can never be thin enough.
Sottigliezza fisica.
In the case of bigorexia, the obsession is in obtaining an extremely developed large muscular form.
Tanto sviluppata però a volte da...
So developed is the form that in the eyes of the ordinary person, this aspect may appear deformed.
E è a volte effettivamente deforme.
They never see themselves as big enough and thus continue to torture their bodies. Usually men between 20 and 50 years old are affected by bigorexia, a dietary disorder which compels them to exhaustive training and the use of invasive supplements and high-protein diets.
Sono persone che pur con un'apparenza che
These people, even if they need to be on display every day, tend to isolate themselves.
invece si isolano. A volte addirittura ci sono dei dati...
Actually, there is data which gives evidence of people who tend to wear oversized clothes in order to avoid showing their real shape, even if they have an exaggerated muscular form, as if they see their bodies as too frail.
Loro ritengono troppo esile.
It generally begins in the gym, and just when one thinks to be only a step away from the ideal form, someone comments that they are exaggerating. Eating becomes a functional obligation to maintain mass, and little time remains for family, friends, or going out. Andrea, an invented name but with a real experience, encountered bigorexia when he was very young. Today at 26, he works to help those who have suffered as he. Bigorexia is like cocaine. It has a euphoric effect. It makes you high.
Euforico, ti rende euforico.
Pensiero che dovrebbe essere un
pensiero. To be fit, a thought that should be one amongst many in a person's life, ends up dominating all.
La vita di una persona.
At school you talk about the gym. In the gym you talk about the gym. And in the evening you think about the gym. I was totally concentrating on making my body a machine. Continuous aesthetic inputs, toned, strong, sculpted. So is portrayed the perfect male icon. Social pressure exerts a certain influence on fitness addiction, typical of Western society. But it's with a receptive disposition of character that a dangerous Adonis complex is developed. And when this happens, the problem is not limited only to the number of hours spent in the gym. Almost always, there's an abuse of anabolic steroids, drugs that have extremely restricted medical use.
Che hanno indicazioni mediche estremamente ristrette.
There are gyms that at the moment of enrollment give you a list of supplements and substances to buy. First those that are legal, and then, if one is smart enough to understand, those that are illegal. Anabolic steroids, substance naturally present in our body, synthesized in the laboratory and taken under the counter to improve performance and increase body mass with serious physical consequences. Anabolic steroids damage the prostate, causing problems that range from shrinkage to tumors. There's also the problem of sterility. Often they increase blood pressure, which if not controlled can cause cardiac damage. In addition, they can cause damage to metabolic reactions. The presence of diabetes is much more frequent in these people due to the specific action of the steroid hormones. But not only. There's often an increase in triglyceride and cholesterol levels that can with time increase arteriosclerosis. Physical consequences, but also psychological damage. These substances can alter the dynamics of thinking and generate obsessive behavior that is difficult to overcome. There have been reports of character change with increase in hostility, aggressiveness, and irritability. But to recover is possible, as Andrea knows well.
mi sono mai considerato malato.
I never considered myself to be sick, and this was a serious error, because if I had, I would have looked for help
Cioè
earlier.
la consapevolezza di
The
avere
awareness of having a problem of bigorexia is very low.
molto basso.
In spite of all, one recognizes bigorexia and can cure it, first through disintoxication from the drugs, then working at the psychological level using specific techniques directed to help the patient regain control of his life, and finally working to reinforce self-confidence. This is a type of illness where, in the majority of cases, 3 out of 4, surely the patient recovers or greatly improves. However, beware, in a minority of cases, the patient, if not treated correctly, risks a completely negative prognosis, and even death.
Assolutamente negativo, cioè fino alla morte, insomma.
What does it mean to recover? It means to have a possibility. Every bodybuilder aspires to be bigorexic without knowing it. Luckily, not many succeed, as it's not very easy, or simply because they fall in love, which is the real cure.
Che è la vera guarigione.